Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Luke Ness Monster, and today we'll be doing a wave overview of these Kenobi figures. I do already have individual reviews of each figure out already, so if you do want to check that out, go check out the videos pinned in the card or linked in the description. All of them are there. Go check them out. They are awesome, and I do an in-depth review of each figure. In this video, I'm going to be doing a full wave overview of all 4 of these figures and hitting some of the points that I might have missed in my review. Real quick though, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to go down, hit that like button, and subscribe, because we're actually giving away this Mando build-up pack. It is sealed and ready to ship once we hit 7,000 subscribers, and now we are less than 500 away, which is absolutely just incredible. We have gained over 250 subs in the last 2 or 3 days, which is mind-blowingly incredible. So thank you guys so much for all the support. I do really appreciate it. It means the world to me, and I never really thought we would get this far. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, just go down and hit that sub button. And the giveaway is pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel, and then once we hit 7K, I'll release a giveaway video. All you have to do is make sure you comment on that giveaway video to enter, then I'll pick a random comment. So it's pretty simple. If you're not yet subbed, go down, hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into the review. Alrighty, so we're just gonna go ahead and go left to right. So starting with Riva. Honestly, I think she might have one of the best face sculpts of all the figures in this wave. Her face is incredible, and to be honest, it looks a lot like the actress. It looks incredible, and the hair is also really good too. Some of the best hair sculpts I've seen in the Black series. I think the thing I like the most is how seamless they made the cape, underneath the shoulder pads. It looks awesome, and it's not a huge cape either. I like that too. It's not constantly in the way like the Vader cape. And I really like how that came out. I love the cape. That's one of my favorite things. And I'm so glad they decided to go with soft goods, because, when it starts to be the hard plastic, that's whenever you start to have some problems posing and different stuff like that. So I'm really glad they went with the soft goods. I'm really glad that they actually gave her pretty much 4 lightsaber blades. They gave her this hilt with 2 blades on each if you would like. And then they also gave her these 2 sabers as well. So they gave her a ton of accessories that, you don't normally get in a normal Black Series figure. I don't know why they did that, but I'm all for it. And honestly, this is just one of my favorite molds for the figures too. I love the Inquisitor mold here. It looks awesome. Overall, I gotta say, I think Reva is my favorite figure from the wave. I love the other figures. I love them so much, but I just think that the Reva figure, they outdid themselves. And, whether you like our character or not, I think that the figure on its own, regardless of the character, is definitely a top 10 Black Series of all time. No question. It is an incredible figure. I think the biggest flaw for me is the feet. They kind of made her feet, rounded, and they're very small, so sometimes she does have some trouble standing up. But other than that, I don't see a ton of problems with this figure. I'm a really big fan of it, and I love, like I said, the pinless look. I love everything about this figure, to be honest. I think it's perfectly executed. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 in my book. Moving on to Kenobi. I know one question that I got a ton was about the robe, so we're going to go ahead and remove his robe. We do have to get him to drop his lightsaber. That's one thing that I can't stand about the Kenobi saber, and it's on all the sabers too, not just, jeez, if I get him to drop it, he has a talon grip on it. My biggest problem with the Kenobi saber is just how thin the neck is. The neck is very thin, and it tends to bend a lot when you try to pose it and grab it. So, obviously you can just bend it right back. It's not going to break or anything, but it just gets a little frustrating. But anyway, I know a lot of people were asking about the robe, so we're going to go ahead and take off the robe. It does come off. And honestly, that's one thing I love about this figure, is the new robe. I love what they did with the stitching on the arms here. It makes it it obviously adds a stitch line there, makes it a little thicker on that fabric, but it really, I guess, I want to say streamlines the robe. It makes it a little tighter, not as baggy, and I think that looks really good. And I think the hood is also an improvement. I think they've had trouble with hoods in the past, and this one is probably the best one we've seen so far. Actually, I think the Emperor's is the best one we've seen so far, but this is a close second. We've never seen one this good with the Jedi robe. But actually looking at the Kenobi figure himself, I think he's alright. I do love the Kenobi figure. I love the I want to say bandages. I know they're not, but I love how his pants are kind of uh, I guess I want to say like tapered off there. I don't know what it is about that, but I do really like that. I love the pinless look of Kenobi, like I said. Little things like that. He has great articulation, butterfly joints. I think it's by far the best Kenobi figure we have. My biggest problem is not with the figure, but just the design of his outfit, and that's his like saggy shirt. I just don't like the design of that. It makes it look like somebody like grabbed his collar and just like stretched it out and then like ripped it, so it's like super baggy and stretchy, and like it just doesn't fit like a normal shirt. That's my biggest problem, and that's not with the figure. That's with the design of the outfit. And so I'm like mad props to Hasbro for actually pulling that off in figure form. It looks awesome, and I love how they actually have like he has a shirtless Obi-Wan body underneath too. I think that's super cool. And then honestly, I love the face sculpt too. I gotta say, it's definitely subtle, but you can tell that Ewan McGregor's older. You can tell it's an older version of Obi-Wan, and I love that. And honestly, I think his hair is great. It kind of brings back that mullet look that he does have in the show, and I really like it. I'm totally digging how it looks, and I cannot wait to get a final dual version of Kenobi. So yeah, I think honestly they could just reuse the Kit Fisto body, in my opinion. But yeah, I do love that head. Just slap that head on the Kit Fisto body, add some new paint, and I think you're set. So yeah, cannot wait for a final dual version of Kenobi. And then I always got a gripe about no extra hands. I think it'd be so awesome to get Kenobi in his iconic pose, but you really can't because he can't change his hand expression at all. And so I would have loved some extra hands, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. Moving on to Vader. Vader is pretty much all reuse. The only thing that is new is the helmet. I did get some comments saying that it was just a full re-release, but I do believe the helmet is brand new. It's very subtle, but it is a new sculpt. Looking at the rest of Vader, he's just the A New Hope body, and that's my biggest flaw with him, is that they just didn't use the Empire Strikes Back body. And obviously the A New Hope body is just more accurate because that is what his costume is based off of in Kenobi, but the Empire Strikes Back body just has like much better articulation. When it comes to the legs, it's all pretty much reuse, but the arms are better on the Empire Strikes Back version, and it also has butterfly joints on the Empire Strikes Back version. So Empire Strikes Back is much better, and I really wish they would have used that body. I think it would have worked a lot better. And then, just go ahead and use this head on that body. I think it would have been a perfect figure. But, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, because it still gets the job done. Because, you don't really need Vader in a two-handed pose that would require butterfly joints, but it's nice to have the option there. Anyway, though, taking a close look at his head sculpt, I do love all of the nice detail and everything molded into his helmet. I know some people were asking if the helmet was removable or if he had a face sculpt underneath. The helmet is not removable, unfortunately. But for face sculpt, I don't know, because I can't see inside the head. There's no way to really see inside. I could always pop off the head and look, but I don't really want to do that right now. I just got the brand new Kenobi figure. I don't want to damage it at all. But if you do look at a figure like Vader's Wrath, or Emperor's Wrath Vader, he does have a head sculpt on the inside. So I think they could have easily put a head sculpt on the inside of this Vader, and you never know, maybe we'll get a battle damage Vader with like a hole in the side of the helmet. Who knows, we'll see, but that's one thing I really want, is a battle damage Vader in the Black Series. I think it would look incredible, and it would go great with the rest of the Kenobi figures. But yeah, this figure is not removable helmet at all, so, what you see is what you get. And then my only other big problem is the hands. The hands are just really, really stiff. Like, it's very hard to get him to hold items that aren't meant for him. And for example, Reva's saber, here I grabbed the wrong one. Reva's saber, I wanted to get Vader to hold Reva's sabers because he pretty much killed her with them in the show, even though I guess she didn't technically die. But so it's a pretty iconic scene there with that duel between Vader and Reva. And so I wanted to get Vader to hold the sabers, but his hands are just so wide that he just doesn't hold on to them. But his hand is so like thick and non-malleable that it doesn't move, and so there's really no way you can get it to hold the saber without him kind of like balancing it in his hand. So that's another big problem for me. Other than that, the figure is pretty spot on. And like I said, these critiques aren't really like Deal or No Deal. They are little minor things that just are a little inconvenient, but it doesn't take away that much from the figure because the figure itself is still incredible. And then last up, I'm going to go with the fifth brother here. And to be honest, this one is just kind of like the most mediocre of the wave. It kind of just lands in the middle. It's not the worst figure of the wave. It's not the best of the wave. It just kind of sits in the middle. And honestly, I still love it. I think, again, brand new sculpt head to toe. Brand new lightsaber. Like, this entire figure is brand new, and I love how Hasbro is going out of their way to make brand new figures. And I think that this one is almost perfect. The face sculpt is awesome. The articulation is incredible. The lightsaber is great. Biggest problem is the peg on the back of the saber. Like, it just kind of sticks out randomly. It does add for weapon storage, but it just gets kind of in the way. But yeah, overall, I love the pinless look. I love everything about him, I gotta say. He's one of my favorite characters from the Kenobi show, and I really wish we would have saw more of him. But yeah, Hasbro definitely nailed his figure for sure. And so I'm gonna be completely honest. I think this is one of the best waves Hasbro has come up with in a long time. I know some people I've been like hearing saying like the Black Series is dying, and even I've said that in the past. But then they go ahead and release mainline waves figures like this, and it just completely changes my mind. You know, like, all four of these figures are great. Even though that I kind of hate on the Vader just a little bit, he's still a great figure overall. Like I said, I want to stress that enough. I'm not hating on the figure because he's bad. I'm hating on the figure because he's good and he just could be better, I guess, if that makes any sense. But yeah, overall, the wave is great, and pretty much 95% new sculpt throughout the wave. Obviously, Vader is reuse, and honestly, I'm fine with that because it's still a great mold, and if you don't have a Vader, this is a great way to get a Vader. So yeah, I know, like I said, some people have been saying the Black Series is dying. They start looking at exclusive figures and re-releases like the comic book line. But then, like I said, they go and release waves like this, and it's just awesome. It's incredible, and it blows my mind. So yeah, I cannot wait for the next wave of Black Series. I believe that one's the one with like Ayla Secura and Maul. That one's going to be an incredible wave as well. But I'll definitely be doing more videos on the Kenobi figures. Go down, hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So yeah, this is just kind of a little bit of a wave overview, kind of like a short review if you didn't want to go watch the full ones. But yeah, overall, I love these figures. I honestly give most of them a 10 out of 10. I think the only one that I didn't give a 10 out of 10 was Vader, but, you know, of course, you're going to have to go watch the review if you do want to see all of that. But yeah, I love the figures overall, and I'm really happy I was able to get this wave.